Hello and welcome to the ETF2L Season 29 Upper Bracket Round 1 Playoffs Ascent.EU versus OMNI5.EU. I will be your host today, Connor, and with me I've got Dum on the analysis. How you doing today, Dum?
Pretty good. Just coming from the scrim watching session of these teams. Well, at least one of the teams, Ascent in this case, and looks interesting enough.
Fantastic. So, I don't know if we got the map vetoes in yet. Yeah, if we've got the map vetoes, that would be nice.
Yeah, we're going in blind here as well. Beta has not spoiled us yet which maps are going to be played today between these two teams.
So, Dum, tell me a little bit about the scrims. So you watched Ascent. They played 7, of course, in the scrims. What maps did you see? Do you have any ideas what could possibly be coming up?
The two maps that I did catch today were Process and Sunshine, which you would assume that at least one of those is a map Ascent wanted to play. And by how the games went, you would assume it's Process, because Sunshine was much more one-sided compared to Process. Process even started out fairly in their control, it just slipped away at the end.
Yeah. Okay, as we see, OMNI5 with the ban onto product.
That seems understandable enough.
Justified, would you say?
Against the Credit Sniper and Chris Scout, yes, definitely.
Yeah, I've had some experience playing against that, and I can tell you it is not a fun way to play. So that was definitely expected. I have OMNI5. As we see, Ascent banning Badlands. What can we read out of that one? Would you say Badlands is particularly strong for OMNI5?
I don't know if it's particularly strong for OMNI5, but just looking back at last week's official between these two teams, OMNI5 had a super explosive start and Ascent just barely clawed it back at the end. So that probably still fresh in their mind, and they don't want to take a risk that it might just be OMNI5 being really comfortable on a map that they are not.
Yeah, it's also interesting though, because as we saw, OMNI5 actually lost Badlands against who was it? The Yon team, what are they called? Bus Crew, which finished bottom prem. As we see, Ascent's picking Gullywash. So our first map tonight will be Gullywash. Definitely a strong map for Elecor. You know, it's one of those mids that is dictated by the demo men, of course.
Well, with demos on the other hand, you certainly can't underestimate how OMNI5 will be doing in this. Pretty strong for a Prem debut. Yeah.
So, I think it should be a strong map for Ascent, definitely. Let's see, OMNI5 picking Sunshine. And that's his, I haven't seen Sunshine since like week 2 or 3 or something crazy. So that could be interesting.
It's been a while for them, but not as much for Ascent. I think they played it in the 7 Ascent.
Of course, yes, they're delayed.
So it's not too far away for them.
Yeah, it's an interesting pick for OMNI5. I suppose Sunshine is still sort of regarded as one of those new maps in the sort of rotation.
It's been years, but it's still a newer map in comparison.
Yeah, compared to the likes of Badlands and all those lot. And our decider will be Process. So Ascent did actually scrim both of these maps tonight.
Yes, with mixed results, especially on OMNI5's picks, but yeah, we'll see how they do against a different team than 7 in comparison.
Yeah, so we've got a right old mix of maps tonight. Should we have a little rundown of the rosters?
You will. Sign me up for that.
Bring that up on the screen, Beta, my man. But, yeah, I think... Do you reckon we'll be getting the full three maps done? What do you reckon, my man? Is it going to be over in 2, or...?
I definitely could see it just end in 2 to Ascent, as they're obviously going in as the favorite top seed as well against OMNI5, just barely slipping in thanks to your help.
Yeah, no, yes.
But OMNI5 shouldn't be counted out completely. They've shown before that they have stuff to bring on the table against Ascent. Yeah, they know how to play against them in some way or another, and Sunshine being the map pick makes this a whole lot more interesting for map 2.
Of course. So I'll run you through the Ascent.EU roster. So of course we have Ombrak, team captain on the medic class, Elecor, we have a resident Frenchie on demo, Josh on the pocket soldier, Funds on the Pocket Scout or Flank Scout. I don't even know that one actually. Chris on the Roma and Credu on the other Scout. So the first thing that's jumping out to me, if you look at Elikor, he's got the top KD, top KAD, kind of low damage. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I thought he would be up there, top 2 at least. But I think that's down to the fact that he probably takes the most heals on this team. You know, he's one of these sort of tank demos.
And he uses those heals aggressively as well. A lot of the times, a lot of jumps from this guy, and he just makes sure to make good use of the sticky jump compared to a lot of people.
Yeah, so I don't know, would you say there's contrasting styles among these teams? You know, so we've got one team, Ascent, they've got the sort of tank demo, pump as many heals as you can to this guy, you got your aggressive soldiers, and then you got your 2 scouts. Actually, I'd say both teams are quite similar for styles. Ignore what I just said.
Yes. I think on OMNI5 there's still a much heavier soldier focus, which we see now, Raph and Cody being the soldiers. They switch between Pocket and Roma. So both say they're Roma, because both of their stats are kind of messed up because of that, and I don't know which way it is now. But
I believe Raph is Pocket, but I could be lying. You know.
But yeah, they definitely. If Ascent has aggressive soldiers, then OMNI5 has even more of that.
Yeah. But, yeah. So, what's this? Anything else interesting here? Demos actually second KAD amongst the demos. It's quite an interesting. But if we can take a look at maybe the demo head-to-head beta, can you pop that up on screen for me?
Okay, our French inside info says Raph is indeed the Pocket.
Raph is the Pocket. Fantastic, that is good to know. As we see, you know, fairly even, surprisingly, sort of stats here. But Elikor definitely coming out on top over this.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that it's as close as it is. Both these teams, as you mentioned, kind of similar playstyles, but I would say that OMNI5 is, like, in every aspect a little bit more extreme in the way they do it, which obviously backfires heavier if it does, compared to Ascent, who are certainly more comfortable playing slow, and obviously more experienced at it as well.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, the Demoman playing really similar tank on their respective teams, and then also obviously heals. Leading.
Yeah, Elikor taking nearly 300 heals per minute. That is quite extreme. Let's have a look at some soldier head-to-heads, Peter. Hit me with, I don't know, whichever one you've got handy. So we see the Romas. Gotti with the incredible average of 20 deaths per map.
That is something I mentioned. That just they let the soldiers be playmakers, but not just in staring. Just whenever they can, try to do as much as you can, and
just send them in.
Obviously, against Prem level scouts, it doesn't always work the way you want, but they've shown ability to make some creative stuff happen. Something that comes to mind is like a spy used as a distraction, so the spy goes for a play and then the soldier jumps in.
The real plays the soldier. Yeah. You know, I've had some experience playing against Gotti, and he's one of these roaming soldiers who really goes for the med. You know, he's one of these he just tunnels the med. That's what I'm getting at. Whereas Chris is one of these. You know, they like to do things such as pushing the flank. Chris will fight anyone. You know, he's not just straight in bombing for the med. Which I think is sort of reflected in the stats. Like, he's got some nice KDs here. 22nd. So I says 20 seconds. But yeah, Chris, one of these guys, he'll take a 1v1 with anyone. You know, he's got a solid head on him. Let's have a look at the other soldier head-to-heads. Let's have a little look on the server. We've got 11 people on the server right now, so we're still waiting on that. So we see Josh versus Raph. Josh, absolutely dwarfing Raph in the heals, of course, as you said. That's because Raph and Gotti have done some funny things throughout the season with swapping between Pocket and Roma, depending on the medic.
And even then, historically, Josh, a very heal-heavy player as well.
Yeah,
which is obviously something they needed to adjust to with how heal-heavy Elikor is as well.
Yes.
So that needed some adjustment on the Ascent part.
Josh with some pretty fat KDs and KADs here. It does make you wonder who are number 1 and number 2 if he's sitting in 3rd. But yeah, I've got some medic stats. I want to see how many drops there are. As we flick over. OMNI5 versus Raptor. These are the stats I loved. You know, love to delve into.
Yes, with the medic inside knowledge.
Yeah, of course. As we see, 8 drops, 7 drops. You know, I did more than that in one game, but we all forget about that. OMNI5 with the nice average deaths per map of 5. That is pretty low. Probably assisted by last week. The game against my team, where I don't think he died. He died maybe once, you know.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of an deflated number.
A little bit skewed, you know. I remember, yes, did die once and roll out to Lucas.
But even then, I watched a lot of games this week, and last week as well, and OMNI5 has been looking a little bit weaker than usual, in my opinion. Yeah, so that's something to look out for, because I think he's not having a good week at the moment. Yeah,
I don't think so. I remember I was tuning into your stream just before we went live here, and he seemed to be dropping the ball a bit, you know? He was getting caught out alone, you know? Maybe a team issue, you know, not always the medic's fault, but yeah, he's not having the greatest week, for sure. What the stats we got? Average healing per map, that's quite interesting. Raptor healing, on average, nearly 3k more than OMNI5, even though he's dying more? It's weird. Interesting, but... And not many crits coming out, Dum. Look at that, we got total Ubers 108 coming out from OMNI5, and only 5 crits throughout the entire season. Do you reckon we'll be seeing any crits players come out tonight?
OMNI5 strikes me as the guy who prefers to go crits only as like a last-ditch effort. When there's little time left and they need something fast. Yeah, Raptor, on the other hand, I feel like has the more old-school approach to crits, where it's just being used as a surprise, basically just mid-game at some point, like once a map, see if you can surprise somebody.
Yeah, the sort of situation where you know both meds go down at the same time, and you think, okay, I'm gonna have a little bit of advantage here. Let's switch the crits. Let's see what we're going. As I do hear the woman, whatever her name is, counting down. If you are just joining us, welcome to ETF2L Season 29 Upper Bracket Round 1 Final. It's between Ascent.EU and OMNI5.EU. As we go to the first mid on Gullywash. I'm taking a nice little overhead cam. As we see, the demo is fairly equal to mid, but huge pressure onto Elicor. Elicor's sitting there on 13 health right now, and he goes down to demos! That's a huge pick from demos at the start of this mid. As we see both teams just posturing up here. Ascent are actually losing players here, and OMNI5 has absolutely hightailed it out of mid here. Actually,
but they're getting picks on the low ground.
Coming back in, it's now sitting at a nice little 3v3. But I think Ascent have the better classes to fight this one. But OMNI5 have actually taken the cap here.
So we're getting dropped down as well.
A lot better respawners. And it's just an extended mid fight, but with OMNI5 getting the respawners here, it should be going their way. As they take the Uber out, and OMNI5 goes down! That's a huge pick from Sui. I think they're going to get cleaned up here. Done. Talk to me. What happened?
Ascent just really dropped the ball, like you mentioned. It's not over yet. They want to rectify themselves, but both players alive on mid go down. And Ascent had such a good opportunity to just walk back in. They got some late picks here.
Christ! Picking up 2 on the flank, with another one dying to Josh.
And they got these late picks on mid, and they wanted to recontest with Scout, but then Credit just dropped down, and then it's just like 2v1 on top, and just completely kill momentum, and then OMNI5 dying to the Uber immediately.
Did you see what percent he was on it? He must have been close.
Yeah, they relied on getting that, and OMNI5 just said
Raptor
big no to that.
Just knew that he had the ad. As we see a weird mid coming out, which means that OMNI5 are going to have full advantage pushing into last. But we've got the good old defensive classes set up. You know, we've got the level 3 sentry, we've got the pyro. As they come from main with the scout and the demo, straight onto the sentry. But this is huge denial coming out from Ascent. The sentry gun only just goes down. Chris does trade on the back lines though.
Look at Credu, he's trying to make the big play.
Oh my god, Credu on the pyro! Pins Raptor! Oh my god. Can we see the last 2? Scrap is in through main, in through secret. He's going to point now. There's no point presence. Oh my god, he's 1v1 against Raptor.
He just blocked the point.
Oh my god, man.
That is such a big brain play, not gonna lie.
He just ran through main into secret. And OMNI5 was sitting with...
And he stood at the front of the point, which sure makes it easier to die, but at the same time, the other team can't touch the point.
He was just body blocking his way. As we see 1-0 coming out in favor of OMNI5. This is not the way I expected it to go.
They're getting in a sense head already, and it's just been 3 minutes.
Definitely. As we've seen a lot of pressure onto Elikor at the start of this mid. Both teams are posturing as Josh is deep into the enemy's big door, and they get 2 picks instantaneously. Josh is now in the lobby behind, and Raptor is hightailing it. He's going to run right into Josh! Josh! Oh my god, 5 HP on Raptor! Oh, big pick from Josh there. Dumb. Talk me through it. Dumb?
Yeah, it was yeah, sorry, I had just take a cough there. But yeah, just a much better start. The soldiers just doing so much work on the mid. As you mentioned, Josh going deep into big door, and I think Chris somewhere on low taking fight with Gotti. Just getting the quick picks, forcing OMNI5 out immediately, and really good chase. Josh with the awareness to where to be to catch out Raptor at the end of that mid.
That was a very big pick, as you say. As we see Ascent posturing up for their full Uber advantage to come in. But we do see the defensive classes coming out. You know, we've got the gun, we've got the heavy as they do use in the funds and demo Uber. The gun goes down, Gotti goes down. The point is open, funds is straight onto the demo onto the point. Just trading frags here, and they just cap it out here.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. The point contestant just didn't cap in time, but even then, Ascent was ready to collapse on it after them. So, yeah, a little bit weirdly executed, but if there's a hole in the last hole, then just abuse it.
Yeah. There's another swift round coming in here. So it ties it all up at 1-1. Demo's actually quicker than Elikor to this mid. So we see both teams posturing up. Josh coming over a fat bomb. Oh, actually, that's airshot by Raph! Oh my god! Oh my, I'm in shock.
Would Chris straight onto Raptor from drop down, just get into for free. Everybody was too distracted by the high bomb.
And yeah, that mid went to Ascent, but what a rocket by Raph, man! That was so huge. Josh did like a crazy bomb over the top of mid. I think as Raph did the same or something like this, and absolutely gets nutted.
But in the end, what does it matter if you hit the sickest airshot if everybody's looking up and nobody's looking behind? So Chris can just come in and farm, kill 2 people.
That is true, Dan. As we see, Ombrak coming up on a 100% Uber advantage here. They're going to be coming into last here soon, but just buffing up their players. I think it's going to be the same Uber. Elikor funds top right by the looks of it. We've got the gun in a different position this time. They may not understand. No, Elikor spotted it out. But they're not finding much with this Uber. They've picked off the gun, but Demis has got the point securely. Sweetie gets picked off in the spawn, but Raph, huge damage. Chris is sitting waiting for an arrow, but the heavy, top right, finally goes down. Look at the health on Ascent. But Demos is the last remaining gun. Gets 3 picks! Demos! Oh!
Barely couldn't save it.
He gets the 3k.
Ascent played it so patiently the entire time until it was just coming down to Demos, and then it just all rushed forward and almost all died to him.
Yeah, 2 of them dying to the sticky trap and Demos getting a pretty nutty pipe onto one of them. But in the end, it does end up being 2-1 to Ascent as we go to the 4th middle within only, what, 6 minutes. As we see both teams arriving at the mid. Josh getting some early pressure onto the point. Raph in on the demo, quick pick onto the demo. And Ombrak is actually sitting on 40 health in the elbow. But somewhere on the back lines, Raptor has fallen. So now it remains for these 4 remaining OMNI5 players. Raptor, no, Ombrak takes a rocket. But who's going to be the hero? Scruff winning the 1v1 there.
Oof, Hans cleans up everybody. That was though again, just the stickies already. Ombrak did stay alive though, that's the silver lining for Ascent, even though this looks a bit weird now for them, but yeah, they have Uber for this recontest. And props to the scouts just protecting him when they needed to.
Yeah, Fun's doing an absolutely great job there. As we do say, Ascent taking the mid. I've just been notified that Sweet has actually spawned on the sniper class. Let's see if we can find him. Where is he? Oh, he's
holding really passively on top. They're ready for Ascent to make some moves. They don't want to stay on the low ground and be potentially cut off from exit. So staying on top is much safer in this situation.
Yeah. See, Demo is actually holding big door. This is Ombrak could get forced here. They use the Uber, but they drop Josh in the process. Gotti is going to get caught though, and Raph is also going to get caught. But they did use, however, which means OMNI5 are going to be coming up on their Uber advantage here.
There's a small chances there to move out of the advantage, but it's moving out of last, no matter what map, it's always tough, even with an advantage. So I'll be interested to see how and if they approach this at all.
Yeah, they're just poking the main area now. We see Chris holding up top in that very common spot. He's actually spotted them out. It's a nice rocket onto Swede, but he does go down for his troubles. As we see Josh leaving a trip, but they actually get forced. Raptor's 150 health, man. This is absolutely abysmal coming out from the OMNI5 size. And Credu is actually up on the sniper class, and Raptor cannot cross. He's going to have to climb his way up if he wishes to leave. With Ascent coming up on their Uber very, very soon here.
Yeah, Ascent needs to play this fast so they can get huge results with this, but Raptor already on top, so the biggest pick potentially out of this picture. They're coming in anyway.
Used through to find basically nothing. They're going to get 2 frags. Big pick onto demos though. But yeah, a bit of a questionable use there. I think they thought the Raptor was still on the ground or something. But they're looking to try and capitalize on it. Big pipe from Elicor. Chris then finishing off the kill. As they're looking to bust in through the shutter area. Josh taking all the heals and making lots of space.
But it takes so long, and Raptor is close to having, so call has been made to leave, and Josh can't manage to do this. Neither can Chris. Both going down. They have a sniper on the field as well to attempt to make a stop to Raptor's push here.
But of course, no demos going down to that trap. But they've walked down through the lower area, and Raptor's just used straight through. They've gone in blind.
Good Raph gets completely denied.
This is another awful Uber coming out from OMNI5. He seems to be going in quite blind a lot of the time, you know?
Yeah, they want to take so few risks at least, push us out of lobby.
Well, we see Ascent coming in from the big door area. Raptor gets caught by Elicor. They're losing 4, maybe 5 for this push. As we see Ombrak coming up on the Zuba. I think this round's basically overdone. Unless we can see some...
you need to have a huge beef. Josh dying definitely helps OMNI5 already, but let's see how this goes down.
You see the Pyro on the field getting picked up by the sniper of Credu. Of course, because Credu's on sniper, they actually don't have many scouts on the field. The Fun's on the point here. Could be picking it off, but they actually beef? No. Huge fucking rocket from Dotty, man. And it's actually down to a 3v2.
Yeah, they actually took way too long.
How?
By the time the Uber was in any position to do anything, it's just everybody up just dancing around them on Ascent, and they didn't find nearly enough frags. They did get Raptor, which helps a lot, but he's already back up and no building from Ombrick until now, so only 30% advantage.
I think they just had a lack of scouts there, you know. Credu was sniping from main, and Funds was doing like some water play, I think, so they just had no scouts in the Uber. With Elicor on that demo rank class, he was just sort of left out to his lonesome. But as you did say, Ombrak is coming up on 80% now with a 40% advantage. They've got the gun down already. And Chris is edging that water area. But Raptor not building here. I would have liked to see him build this. They could have potentially got it. As they do come in top right for 3, they're walking in. And Ombrak has only just used off a Zuba. He's flashed his Funds under the point to go for the demo. And they've got the gun. They need the rest of Ascent to come in now. As Funds does take down the demo. The point is completely open here. But OMNI5 here holding the high ground as Chris somehow gets in onto Raptor. It's a huge frag.
And there come the people from lower.
Credu playing the point, baiting the move, but Ombrak is not linked up with them. This is what we were saying, you know, Ombrak might actually go down 27 health. Josh is 1 health under the point. No way. What?
I think much worse than Ombrak being alone was the fact that both of his players were under the point instead of one on each direction, so they could just like shoot them on point from both sides and make this much easier. Eventually they somehow clutch it out with some nice arrows, but a single medic spamming arrows from river is certainly not as much damage than they could have had.
It's not the optimal choice, Dan. You are correct there. As we see, it looks like, I don't know, big double bomb onto the OMNI5 side, and Raptor and Demos are locked in the elbow area, which means Ascent have all the space in the world. Gotti is miles behind in bats here, but Raptor could be caught here. Clutch pipe coming out from Demos to keep his medic alive.
Coming from behind, but no, the scouts see him and he can't go anywhere. And while all of this was going on OMNI5's side, Ascent just took their time deal with the enemy soldiers, got Raph, forced Gotti to leave, and now he's stuck behind and can't do much at the moment.
Yeah, especially with scouts like Funds and Creddy on the job. Especially Chris, you know, as I said before the game, he's looking to take this 1v1. He's chasing Gotti. Gotti's all the way on the last, jumping about, but does get picked off by Creddy in the end.
And Chris doesn't even get the assist.
Poor old Chris. But, yeah, Josh is actually going in for a sack here, onto Raptor, huge shot, and forces out Raptor. That was a really big rocket from Josh there. As we see Raph trying to make something of this Uber, gets launched high in the air. Is he going to get air shot? Ooh, close. But no, does get cleaned up by the scouts in the end. With OMNI5 with a full Uber advantage here, and Sui somehow getting picked off by Chris on the flank. Means it's very open, but do you see the stickies on the ramp? OMNI5! Oh no, they do get dead.
Chris from behind, he went all the way and he's farming.
They found almost so many frags.
So much with that. By the one thing he wanted for sure, Raptor State Left doesn't matter too much though. They have advantage. They want to come in here and make quick use of that.
They're straight in. They found the first frag, and Demos of course is dead, so the point is completely open. And Josh is holding off the spawners. Big pipes from Elikor. That will be 4-1 to Ascent. It's quite quick rounds here, you know. We haven't seen many stalemates done. It's very fluid and it's an enjoyable match to watch so far. As we go to our 6th mid.
To be fair, I want to see at least one short stalemate to see if any of these guys have the capability to break the other guy's stalemate.
Yeah, definitely, to give us a chance to talk. As we do see OMNI5 going for the right side middle here. Raph is quickly up into the elbow, gets the pick onto Elikor. A big bomb from Josh with Raptor. 8 health, man. But Ascent do have all the space in the world. OMNI5 are just locked in the choke.
And the enemy ones as well.
Oh, is that the wrong?
Yes, they went up enemy side.
Yeah, of course. So, this is not the best position for OMNI5 to be in. With just a demo and a medic. Got the best pass. And of course the spawners coming in now. Josh and Elikor.
And they have nowhere to go.
Yeah. Out drop down. Raptor's on 92%.
We're cursed with the big brain and he's back.
Raptor?
But
Raptor? He's still alive. Oh, they know though. Oh. Those big dukes from Raptor, but in the end, it did not prove fruitful. As we see OMNI5 with another 100% Uber advantage. We've seen a lot of those this game. But yeah, what a weird mid, Dom. You know what?
Yeah, OMNI5 I think have like lost, or not lost, but they have not any more ideas than what they're currently doing on mid. And the only thing they could bring to the table is just follow up their soldiers to the enemy side. But Ascent played nicely around that, forced them into choke, and there's really nowhere to go. If you go all the way to big door, then it just takes forever, and the enemy can just like outcap you and win that way. And if you go down, you're on lock round.
Do you see the Uber coming in from Elikor and Funds? The gun does go down, and half of OMNI5's team, 4 of them are stuck in spawn right now. Gotti is under the point with demos, with 2 scouts baiting the point. 1 frag, 2 frags. A big saw coming out from Raptor. Raptor surfing on, gets another saw. But, did he drop? Wow. As we see, yes, the round going to Ascent. Almost a clutch play coming out from Raptor. Because, I think he did drop as he hit the ground, I'm being told.
Unfortunately, but he can't switch weapons that fast, or probably for the best in many situations, but not in this one if you're Raptor.
It's broken, foul, please fix. As we are going to the 7th mid, and we're still only 16 minutes deep into this game. We see a Chris going pretty fast under right now, waiting for these soldier bombs. Gotti's in! Goes down! What a big pick from Gotti there. Now, OMNI5 just need to, you know, sit back, play heals, but they all seem to be feeding. Josh can't drop down, but in the end, Raptor does live. He's got the 2 best classes for it. He's got 2 scouts.
All the way behind
Raptor. Oh, hits 2 shots, but cannot find the finishing blow. As OMNI5 actually with a decent chance here. Chris holding close to big door gets absolutely destroyed by the 2 scouts.
And you really don't want to use here, and looks like Ascent respects the advantage off of the fact they just don't have the numbers at all.
As we see Josh on sniper? Is that a thing?
It's hard for the scouts to sniper, but they're not dead, so...
I'm on the Josh cam. He's got a shot! He misses. Raptor. Oh, he misses again. But OMNI5 are taking this Uber very deep. And Scruff is actually picking off Eloquor as well. These are two big frags here, but Creddy taking the 1v1 versus Scruff. The 2v1 now. But,
yeah, he can't do this. He's getting outcapped. He's super weak behind lines. And
OMNI5 needs to be busting this into last now. They got one behind, 2 fresh spawners. They use through the door. Raptor's in with his scout and his demo. There's 2 frags free, top right, but they just can't seem to find the kills. They finally get one. Funds is about to go down 2. The point is so open now. Eloquor, clutch pipe. Gotti's in. High ground is owned by Raptor and his team, but Ombrak actually on 86%, but cannot find the clutch Ubersaw.
It took them a while to get those frags, but they wisely prioritized the people that were just able to be killed easily, even if it took a while, or anything fancy like trying to desperately kill Ombrak or trying to desperately pay the point. Once they had the numbers to start going for the demo man and just went from there.
It took a while to get going there, but yeah, OMNI5 picking up their second round on the board here. You see Eloquor getting some pretty fat damage out onto the enemy's big door, but both teams are just posturing up. Gotti is up, no, just chilling in drop down. You see Chris up the enemy's drop down, gets the one pick onto Sui, trades out for Scruff. Gotti on the mid, Ombrak is so weak on 50 health. As Ascent are finding all the frags here. They pick up 4, Raptor running away as fast as he can. He's on 60%. Oh, that would have been a nice surf out. But yeah, Ascent taking that mid.
Yeah, just much more aggressive now once the aggression came out of OMNI5. They dealt with the soldiers and then just all went forward at the same time. Everybody just melted except Raptor, and that taken care of quickly after.
And they're already into last here. The Uber being popped. Josh controlling the top left. Big damage by shot. 3k coming out from Josh. And Rav only 20 health. As you see, another quick round. These rounds are going thick and fast today, that is for sure. But yeah, it's not giving us a chance to even analyze anything that's going on.
Yeah, I think the slowest moment we had is when Ascent beefed 2 times in a row last. And
yeah.
OMNI5 won to second. But even then, it was just still going all the time. And we have Josh sniping to mid. That's interesting for sure.
Coming out from Josh, this is I don't think this is something they've practiced. Normally it's Creddy. As we see a double solid bomb onto Eloquor, but Eloquor finds the pipe onto 1? How does that happen? But look at the health on the OMNI5 side. 3 of them in the red. And Josh actually getting the pick out onto demos. With Gotti, the sole remaining survivor, until he gets picked up by Creddy.
Yeah, that was such a classic sniper bit for Gullywash. Just punch up at big door, kind of. So your snipers all safe, sound there, and just play it from the ground, make room for your sniper, and just enable him to do as much as he can. And Josh didn't even need to do that much. They had to sort of just jump in, and obviously everybody was just at big door and took quick care of those people.
Yeah, Eloquor, I don't know how he survived that mid, but Ascent have actually somehow lost 2, even though they have a full Uber advantage. I think it's good that Josh died. They've actually taken the Uber here. Who is this? Is this Runs? Yeah, he's feeling ballsy right now. He's taking a flash under the point. He's going for the demo. We'll find the demo. I don't think they're going to get much else from this Uber. This Fun's trying to leave Riverside and will get out. But yeah, I think very questionable players. They are trying to drive push back through main. Eloquor hitting some pipes.
Pyro.
Josh on the point. Oh my, this is so BM.
And the Heavy was shooting the entire time instead of stopping to move faster as well. And that is game.
Yeah, as we do see the first map, we're going to Ascent.EU. A nice little 7-2 in, what was that, 20 minutes. That was a high scoring game there. But an exciting one, definitely. Not that I'm complaining, you know, I do love a good high fast
OMNI5 certainly started rapid fire in this as well.
Yeah. Let's take a look at some logs here.
I like numbers, let's see.
As we see, look at the damage going out from Ascent. Raph is the lone soldier, if you pardon the pun, up there from his team. With everyone on Ascent actually doing over 300 damage a minute.
Well, if the game's short, then that's a little bit easier at least.
That is a spectacle to see. Something else I want to focus on here is the deaths coming out from the 2 medics. You see Ombrak only dying 4 times. I don't know if any of those were drops at all, but Raptor just seemed to be dying a lot. He's dying on most of the mids, I would assume, and not having the greatest game. But Chris and Josh actually having the same KDs. It's an interesting one.
Yeah, and except for, we mentioned before, Ombrek was looking a little bit shaky this week, but certainly much less so this game for sure. Yeah, so definitely. That's good for Ascent, they need that.
Yeah, just someone to, I don't know, can't think of words. But as well, some healing stats here. As we said before the game, Elacor taking 31% of the heals, and Scruff taking 27% of the heals on the other team.
Well, there wasn't that much time to play like the way they wanted for most of it, I would say.
Yeah, they were very much getting bullied around by the Ascent side, I think.
Yeah, whenever Ascent was in control, which was obviously most of the game, it was 7-2 at the end. Then yeah, you just can't play the way you want.
Yeah, definitely. As we pull up some map stats, I think this is as expected. Pretty much dominantly red, with just the scouts, Funds, Credu, sort of dominating. And yeah, I'm not sure what you can really pull from these stats.
I like the fact that Ombrek is in top frags on second. That is interesting. Oh, you don't see that all the time.
I think that's because this map really was a case of the mids.
Yeah, definitely. There was not a lot of time spent on second points at all. We can see on the other second as well, just like 2 people showing up there. So either you win or you lose the game.
It was very much, if you get the medcore mid and you have full Uber advantage, then as we see the conversion rates there, got 100%, 78%.
Which you don't see all the time. The teams, even with weapons from mid, being able to convert every time. On OMNI5's end, what I found interesting is I don't think they used a Pyro on last at any point. Always just heavy on Sentry.
Heavy and NGS, yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it was really uncommon. And we saw on the other end, on the Sense part, despite losing the round, in the end somehow, their lineup for the defense was a Sentry and a Pyro at the Sentry, blasting away like half the projectiles coming towards it, so it survives much longer.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was... Yeah, we didn't have many stalemates at all. That was the tail of the game, definitely. But, yeah, so we've got to do score predictions for that map done. I think I would have said 7-2 to or something like that, but...
Well, I'm gonna be honest, certainly I wouldn't have.
No? Oh, I thought it would have gone the full 30, I'll be honest. But since we didn't do it last map, should we do it this map, So, after the performance you've just seen, and obviously you saw the scrim, where Ascent played 7, so, you've seen how they sort of play on Sunshine. What are you thinking? What's the score going to be on this map? Is it just a 2-mapper? Are we going to be finishing on this?
I'm after a performance like this, I'm going to be optimistic towards Ascent even on Sunshine and say 5-3, but with quite a bit more stalemates.
5-3 to Ascent. Okay. I'm going to go with... Ooh, it's a toughie. I think maybe something like 6-2 to Ascent. I think OMNI5 will get a round or 2 here. But yeah, I think this mid is definitely a lot easier to leave. As we saw on the last map, both teams were very good at chasing for the medic frag at the end of the mid. With Josh, as you probably remember, that huge clutch play, basically winning the mid for his team. Whereas this mid, it's easier to get out. If you've got a scout, you can run away and not get caught as easily.
Yeah, and since we didn't have time at all to speak about it, we saw Josh sniping, which in itself is interesting. Not the first time I think it happened this season as well. He sniped on Badlands at some point, I think. But on the other side, the classic Raptor is to just not be bothered by a sniper, which hurts him as much as it helps. Because obviously if the sniper beefs, then you're a god that didn't need to use there, but if you don't and he hits shots, then you're obviously going to look stupid. And in this case, it worked perfectly. It allowed them to just get in there for free. And yeah, it's like such a coin toss, and Raptor just loves taking it.
Yeah, definitely. As we see 12 players on the server. And you're just, as we do here, the woman, whatever she's called, bringing us to the second map of ETF2L Season 29, upper bracket round 1, Ascent versus OMNI5. As we do go to the first mid on Sunshine, we see demos rolling out through choke, and Elikor
taking his sweet time. You have two options there. You
as Chris fast on the demo! But Chris getting clean up, and Elikor taking a very slow route there. That was very interesting. We'll talk about it after, as we see both soldiers taking good position. Josh with a little round the rosies push, and all of OMNI5, 5 of them in the red health here, but no frags. Chris has actually spawned. This is one of the longest mids I've seen in a long time. We see Raph taking position on but Josh, huge deep, they're trading frags left, right and centre here. There's just so much going on, so much to look at, but OMNI5 in the end, the Raptors running in. And it looks like they want to take the Uber.
Well, they take the Uber in as well. Worked on Gully once, but they were much closer to Ombrak at that time, and he's not even close to taking damage.
Ombrak with the jukes. I don't think he took a single bit of damage there. I think he was just being body blocked by Credu.
Yeah, and while that happened, Raptor went down in the meantime. Nobody could help him get out of that. They were way too deep committed for that. Just backfired immediately.
Oh, Chris destroyed Raptor is what I'm being told, and I can't believe I've missed it. As we do see Scruff on the spy.
Dude, you need to be fast with this. Either you just get the hero play, or you just lose your team in a round because they have one less person on the defense.
Can you see where he is? I can't. Oh, he's actually on the stairs. Scruff is perfectly set up for him. He needs to be faster, but they've actually used in. And now he's just, they're one less on last. Damage finding the early frag at 3, getting traded off in return. And now we are left with a 5 versus 3. It's looking pretty hopeless for OMNI5, as we do see the first round going to Ascent. Oh, what a round. That was
yeah, the mid was certainly interesting. It was like kinda all Ascent just based off damage. They just completely dictated how OMNI5 positioned themselves, but they just didn't care. They kept playing like they had normal health, and eventually it turned bad for them.
And the questionable choice of Raptor to run in and go for the Uber. I mean, they
had so far to run though, so yeah, that makes it so much worse.
Very questionable, as Elikor actually rolls out flowers this time, and so does demos. So we're seeing lots of different demo rollouts here, as we see both teams posturing up. Josh deep in behind the enemy territory here, as Gotti a huge rocket onto Credu, and Chris getting picked up on the back lines as well. And Josh might also die. He takes the arrow, but does get found. And it looks like Ascent just have 2 players remaining. Ombrak hightailing out of there, with no one seems to be chasing him for now.
Yeah, he should get out of this. He's way too far back. And this was a perfect example of how TF2 can just be a mix of strategy and just incredible plays, as they make sure that the flank was secure from Josh, and then Gotti just jumps in and destroys Credu at the same time. 2 quick picks, and everybody just nicely went forward together, found a few more frags on the way, secured second this way as well, and here comes first attempt.
Gotti is actually in onto the gun, and he taunts. He knows he's messed that one up.
Yeah, you mentioned before the game, just a lot of blind jumps, just trusting in your ability to just DM things.
Yeah.
But against the sentry gun with auto aim, it's a bit of a different story. And Chris is so fine.
Yeah. Chris is on and Josh going for the med. Raptor! Oh! He nearly drops over. He went down to 9 health, I think. But,
yeah, Raptor must be so mad that there was just one person with him the entire time, and it's a soldier, so that makes it much harder as well.
But they do trade two frags in return. We see Raph peeking top right, and I think Ascent will be wanting to push this with their 100% Uber advantage once they get the spawners up. We see cookie cutter lineups apart from Funds. Funds is staying on the gun for now. Are they? Well, he has switched off to scout. So we see cookie cutter lineups from both teams. And
well, it looks like nobody's staying on last, so they better make sure that there's no backup coming in.
Ascent coming out from the lower area. OMNI5 didn't have any sightline onto that. Just baiting out the spam here.
It's taking so long now, Raptor already on 80%.
But they drop Funds, and they want to keep going here. Credu is looking at his med like, yes, Ombrak, come with me. They use through straight onto the demo. Demo doesn't jump away, but
Raptor has no, he can save it.
He's got his Uber.
And he doesn't even need to.
Oh my god. Ascent have got in way too deep.
It's a disaster.
Ascent losing Ombrak. Raptor does get forced off in the end, but for 4 people, that's not what I want to be seeing. And I think Ascent just went way too deep there, Dum.
Yeah, definitely. We already, like, we have the magic input that we see how much percentage Raptor has, but if you're counting on Ubers as wrong as that, then it's just gonna end bad.
Eloquent is the Raptor frag?
Sweet is all pointed, everybody's really so but
no.
here in time.
OMNI5? No.
Here comes the counter feed.
That one's on Raptor. Like, he just ran. I didn't see it all, but Raptor just ran straight into Eloquent on the top right area. Which means OMNI5 had no heals the entire time, but Gotti somehow gets Ombrak! Ombrak, man, he's not having the greatest of games so far. Which means Raptor...
people were just a little too far forward, and he just gets completely caught off guard on its door.
Scouting on...
Raptor barely survives that, but he does.
Yes, so... This is all going to result... They're actually pushing the flowers area. Josh and Funz here. Funz is just running behind, taking a 1v1 with Sui. As all of Ascent,
well, here comes the high jump, but there's nothing for him to find. Everybody's too far back, and he's just kind of looking stupid, jumping into 3 people, quickly dying. Fun's still behind, but that doesn't really help much of the fact that Raptor has quite significant advantage right now. So either Fun makes a big play, or he's just completely useless behind lines.
Yeah, Ascent really dropping the ball here. You know, they're losing their med. They're going on advantage. Fun's actually wins. What?
He gets 2 somehow.
I don't know how that happened.
But there's no way that you get more than that. Chris is in position, he wants to make a play.
Look at Chris. He's in the
it worked
position.
once for Force at very least, but no, this time he doesn't dare.
As Raf types this class in chat. But OMNI5 do still have a 30% advantage, but they need to go fast.
They had to wait for the spawners who are just coming in now, so yeah, it's pretty much dead at this point for a push.
Yeah, I mean, I was calling Funz out, but he really made the play there, picking off those 2 people in the back lines.
Chris Ombrak said no, Josh is there to save him.
Never mind. As I believe this is the first stalemate of the game so far. Let's just all take a breather and just, you know, enjoy it.
Only like 15 minutes into this set, but here we are. And Chris is the one making the plays at the moment, but he gets taken care of pretty quickly. So...
Are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I'm seeing a Scruff sniper, that's what you're seeing.
Is on the sniper class.
That should be interesting.
Is he going to make the play? Is it still... It's only 1-0.
Yeah, the fact that it's only 1-0 at the moment, after how fast Gullywash was, makes this position for them much more reasonable, especially if you picked a sniper and played calm and slow here.
I'm on Scruff ramp. There are 2 enemy soldiers in the lower area.
Yeah, they need to make sure that he's protected as well. Having a sniper is good and all, but close range it's a little bit more difficult.
Ooh, they may get the pick onto Chris here. Chris surviving on... No, never mind. He had the shot! Scruff! Funz is completely unaware of Scruff's position here as he headshots Funz. Scruff making a little bit of magic happen here, perhaps. And he's just peeking it out, seeing what he can see. And with Chris down, it makes it so much harder to hold this top right area, as Scruff is just getting all the shots in the world. He's getting plenty of opportunities.
Raptor takes so much damage from the lower area into lobby. Almost had to use there, but just barely didn't. But this triggers aggression. Chris wants to follow up damage until he gets it. With the 3rd time I think this game he does the same jump.
Another force. This is... Oh, Scott had the shot! Oh, that was so close. But yeah, now it's going to be Ombrak on 100% Uber advantage. And we saw earlier, they're actually taking this Uber a little bit faster than last time. And,
yeah, this time they could at least afford to do it Uber-wise, just chase in deep.
Yeah.
We'll see if they do it, and so far no, they're not going to make the same mistake again. At least not the same way, they're going to go Valley this time.
Shifting over to this flowers area, Gotti taking huge amounts of damage. He's not going to be in the position to force, but Ombrak actually used off. I didn't see what forced in there, but they're trying to go a little deep with this Uber. Josh getting some nice damage onto Scruff there, but in the end, all they're going to get for it is mid. But that's
no frags being had, so OMNI5 now with the option to play this the moment they have into mid again and hope for a better Uber of their own.
I think from what we've seen, I think Raptor's going to go for a nice blind Uber. They're going to go nice and deep with it, and they're going to...
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me at least.
Yeah,
they're going to do the same thing.
They're shifting into this flowers area. Raptor's baited very hard, but Gotti actually gets picked off in the flank. And there's actually 3 Ascent players behind on the 2nd point here. Josh getting picked off, but Raf so weak. Scruff! Oh no, Credu actually finds him. Raptor with the pick onto Credu. But this has almost negated the Uber advantage that OMNI5 had.
Yeah, but the numbers are still in their favor, and the position is just not there off the back of that, so with only 3 up there, kinda hard for us to leave quickly. And that play behind from 3 people in total, this was pretty underwhelming.
As we see Josh on heavy. Okay. A little bit of BM. I don't think this is a strat, I'm not entirely sure. I guess they're just watching for these soldier bombs that OMNI5 are known for.
That is a whole new level of parking the bus.
Yeah, this is quite something. Maybe the rest of this map is going to be a stalemate. As Gotti comes flying in, straight into the heavy. Actually gets 2 nice rockets onto Ombrak. Ombrak surviving on 70 health. As Chris somehow gets picked off on the flank. But no Ubers have been forced.
Yeah, I'm still baffled by the heavy choice, but I mean, it definitely will deny any jumper. Plus, it gives a nice little second medkit to your team.
Yeah, definitely a portable medkit. Always useful, as we do see Scruff coming up on the sniper. Just spawned.
Definitely a good choice against the heavy, if not for the fact that this is kind of a weird layout to snipe from at times.
Yeah, for sure.
I think, like, the only great angle onto Josh right now, if I check everything, is from Valley.
They are actually going to the Valley side. And he's got the shot onto Ombrak! Oh, Scruff, he beefs it! He's got another one! Oh, I think he hit the heavy with that one. But Chris is actually spawned on the spy, so we see all manner of OS classes coming out here. So, let me try and find him. Where are you, Chris? There's so many things to be watching here.
Yeah, he's going from choke. It's wide open, but he needs to find a timing where there's nothing shooting. And Kadu being there doesn't really help him, I think.
Where is Chris gone? There is, I think,
he's just waiting right behind them, basically.
There's so many pick classes. As Chris actually coming in from flowers now. Raptor does not have a clue he's there. Chris is going for gets the demo frag, and they lose 2 in the process. Raptor's so weak on the pack. Actually gets forced out.
He's completely alone as well.
He's got none of his team with him. He's going to get launched.
Too, and Gotti can't even connect with him.
Raptor could be getting picked off here. Yes, and he actually dies. Oh, what a series of...
I know it's just the Scruff sniper, and it hasn't hit a shot today.
What a an unfortunate series of events as Credu taunts as he kills Scruff. Yeah, that was
some BM just saying I'm the better sniper.
Yeah, just
as well in chat. Lol, just shot lol LMAO.
Yeah, there's just so many things to watch in this game at the moment. As we see, who's that final jump? I think it was Chris. But Demos actually gets the
farming on the door. That makes it so much more possible to get a play, and maybe not to save it completely, but to get the force out of Ombrak, and they all come into this.
Yeah, Ombrak is forced to use that Zuba. They are going to lose the demo for it, and I think Gotti could be dying as well on the backlines. Fans when they 1v1 versus Sui, though he is Ubered.
Ruaf needs to save his medic there, and in the end, he gets some help by Scruff as well to save the day. Raptor was in a lot of danger there, just getting overrun by the Uber, but Sui left his life on lobby for him, and the other 2 protected him by just killing fronts after the Uber faded, so nice job from them. Scruff even finding another one, and what else can they get here?
Trading out for Gotti here. Raptor having a sizable Uber advantage, and Josh actually just running at him. He's pulled the stick out and he kills Raptor! Oh my god, what a pick from Josh. He said, "Are you serious?" in chat. Oh, that is you don't see that one every day, Dum. Ombrak coming up with a 50% Uber advantage. I hope you call that on the stream beta.
Yeah, and Josh's concerns about what the scouts are doing in this situation is certainly justified, because, like, how can you get away with these kind of sort of plays?
He just waltzes in through lower, 1 rocket on Raptor, and then stick to the face. My god.
Yeah, that is the sort of situation where you just need basic scout
Uber
position.
coming from Ombrak. Ooh, they kill Sui in the spawn door. The gun is going to go down, and they have all the position in the world on the right side. But Scruff coming in behind. Quick 1 shot onto Elicor. He's not finding anything. And they're just sort of posturing up here. They're finding 1 pick onto Scruff. Ombrak hitting some nice arrows. Was that an air shot? I didn't quite catch that.
But in the end, they're just walking, eventually finding the picks. It took them so long, again, just like Gullywash at one time, but if you can play the long con and the other team can't, then obviously you're gonna have great time on these last holds.
Yeah, but I think that all really comes back to the Josh play in lobby, where he just whack down Raptor with his escape plan.
Yeah, and it's just like the disconnect between Raptor and the rest of the players sometimes is just so telling, to the point where Ascent can just see it and abuse it immediately.
Yeah. But Demo's so sitting on 8 health in choke, as he was so much faster than Elikor. Elikor only just arriving to mid, but they do have to pick onto Chris to go off of, and huge damage from Gotti into the valley area, and OMNI5 are just cleaning up these players right now. It's just Ombrak and Elikor, but Gotti, the man of this mid, in behind. Ombrak so low on the point, he is going to go down here.
Yeah, the chase is just there. They could consider getting Elikor, but at this point, unless you get it for free, it doesn't mean too much, so nobody commits into that. And that was interesting. They just like sent 3 people into Cafe to deal with Chris trying to go behind, and from there they just figured, let's play from Cafe, and just walked over every single player.
Yeah, that was quite the mid from Gotti, as they do use it in top right. Demo Scout on the Uber. The gun goes down pretty quickly. Scouts on the point. They're getting loads of cuts on both scouts just on the point.
There's such a slow rotation as well by basically everyone.
Yeah, as we see OMNI5 fighting back here with 1 run on the board.
Yeah, what they lacked previously on like defensive positioning and stuff, they make up with just really good conversion of advantages.
Yeah, definitely. As we see Demo's so much faster than Elikor to the mid again. As Elikor is actually rolled out through flowers. Gotti deep, not getting much with that bomb. And both teams just posturing up. Raph with the jump onto the Tetris. But Sweet actually for Josh.
So bunched up. So much damage, so many pipes by Elikor. Just straight on target.
Gotti in for the frag. No, he's just gone for that blind bomb again. He cannot find the pick onto Ombrak.
I think OMNI5 was just a bit too confident in how the last bit went, that they just all bunched up again in front of Cafe, and Elikor's pipe just hit 2 people at the same time every time. Just dealt so much damage, and everybody had just followed up on that.
Just munching the Elikor pipes. I'm all too aware.
And in terms, you mentioned a few times on these mids, Elikor is going really slow, but arrives out mid with full health, where Demos goes as fast as he can, and because of quite a bit of health, meaning he has to take the heals immediately to not be in danger of dying to a single soldier jumping. So I am still not convinced which is the better idea, but
Ascent have actually used in top right, and the gun goes down right away with sentry position. Scruff on the pyro, Gotti dying on the sidelines. And both teams just posturing up. OMNI5 are holding this right side pretty well though, denying the spawners. Raph doing a great job there, but Ascent are getting the picks in the long run.
And the spawn is so long here, they can afford to play the slow they do, and eventually they come in. Raptor dancing around, again dying to the pickaxe. But at this point, it's a little bit more justified.
Yeah,
and what I really liked by Ascent as well is that they didn't just let them stay on the left side completely uncontested. They had somebody in left lobby just spamming constantly, keep them in check, do some extra damage. That really helps a lot in the long run.
Yeah, it was pretty slow pushing last there, but they do pick it up in the end. As, yeah, yet again, Demos lightning to the mid. Elikor nowhere to be seen for a good 5 seconds. But Gotti right onto the face of Elikor, getting picked up by funds instantaneously. And all of OMNI5 are just in their choke, and they're just leaving. They have had enough of this mid.
Yeah, each team by now has figured out how they approach mid, and Gotti felt probably smart knowing where Elikor will be, but Funds probably felt even smarter knowing that there will be a soldier.
As Funds in behind onto the med, Chris gets the pick onto Sweet. Demo's also going down, and Raptor is in a bit of a tight situation here, leaving lower with his scout. But who's this? Funds on the back lines as Josh comes in from the sidelines. Raptor, oh no, gets picked off by Josh. This is an amazing chase from Ascent here. They've already got the cap on 2, and they're basically spawn camping on last.
But he's not fast enough, and they're already all on last. Ombrak just sitting there confidently. Probably a bit too confident, but at least he realizes in time.
Yes, a fancy points indeed. There's now 4-1 to the Ascent. It's heading into a bit of a whitewash here, you know, started off slow. We've had some pretty fast back and forth rounds. As we are going to our 6th mid of the game, with 10 minutes remaining. This is still within the realms of possibility for OMNI5.
And with how fast their round went, they just need a good mid, really.
Chris is absolutely lightning into the cafe behind. I don't think OMNI5 know. And he's coming in for the fast flank behind, as Ascent are sitting on their side. Chris in behind. Big rockets onto the demo. Josh finding Raptor as well, somehow But Scruff, bit of a lone warrior behind, taking the 1v1, losing it to Funds.
Yeah, I don't know what OMNI5's great idea was there. They just played so aggressively enemy Tetris, and Ascent just, like, for the most part, just completely weren't in position to be in any danger there, just lying their own flowers, basically. And the only people that were close were sitting on high ground, completely destroying OMNI5 going forward. And yeah, this didn't end too well for them as Raptor did go down.
Yeah, Chris was absolutely lightning there. As we see Ascent coming in through this lower area. No, they're just chilling. They're opting to take the top right area instead with Josh and Funds. They use through Wise because of the stickies on the sniper. Gun going down instantaneously again, and Sui falling to Elikor. Well. Elikor's finding all the frags here. Loads of cap farm on the point, forcing all of OMNI5 to bunch up here.
But the Pyro's dealing so much damage.
Scruff? Ooh, clutch reflect. Oh no, it's just Raptor, 63%. Hearing the usual sound and the sad trombone.
That certainly sums it up.
Yeah, it is.
And while the comeback time was possible, Ascent have none of that. They just one-handed by score in this round, possibly.
Yes. I'm not seeing anything quirky coming out from this mid. No Josh sniper. But Ascent are definitely feeling themselves right now. As you see, Elikor a little bit faster to mid this time. Both teams just posturing up. Raph taking a little bit of high ground. Josh, nice bomb into their flowers. And OMNI5 is all like bunched up on this cafe area. Chris falling, and Sui and Scruff actually finding some picks here. It's now down to a 3v3. But yeah, just medic, soldier, and scout for both teams. Josh is actually caught behind and gets picked off. It's now Raph versus Funds. But Funds is very distant from his heels right now, as OMNI5 has hightailed out through flowers.
Yeah, I feel like this could have gone so much better for OMNI5. It was such a lack of focus fire at the beginning.
Funds still on mid, actually on top of Raptor. He drops down, one shot. Oh, Raptor with the jukes. Raptor's on 60 health. Funds just needs to hit a few shots. Raptor on 19 health gets the mini pack. And Funds does get picked off.
So safe. Yeah, here comes the high bomb.
Here comes Chris. Oh, gets
and Raptor drops play as well.
Big play by Chris and Funds.
And they needed that.
And now OMNI5 is going to be sitting pretty on his Uber, but people are falling here on the flank. And they're already 3 players up. I think OMNI5 are looking to get the force here. Already playing very aggressive in the choke. As Gotti somehow falls, probably munching a pipe. As OMNI5 is on his scout.
Walked in and it didn't work at all.
OMNI5 is just following Credu to his death here. They've used the Uber
into a single scout, and they don't get anything. Eventually Scruff goes down, but I don't think this is, you can call this worth it at all.
That is the one of the biggest wastes of an Uber I think I've ever seen. But I mean, they do find the 1 pick. Are they going to try and do anything off of it?
Well, they kind of need to if they don't just want to give Raptor advantage, but it doesn't look like they do.
Do you see the bust? The bust! Gotti falling on the flank to 2 scouts. Credu onto the demo. They pick off demos as well. As Credu is so deep right now, actually puts Raptor down to about 20 health before getting
they
the
already
pack.
given up all the position despite coming up on Uber soon, because Ascent just played it so aggressively and they couldn't stay in. But he
they do use out the doors, blocking the point, and Chris is deep in behind. OMNI5 is safe and sound though.
Yeah, they only got a single pick with this, and OMNI5 for one doesn't.
Chris in behind the meds,
Raptor!
Oh my god, Chris is going to be so mad about that one. That is just one of those shots you just have to hit. Ascent with this full Uber advantage, and only 3 of them. They're holding so close to choke. They're going to catch Raptor well off guard. Raptor instantly down, busting through this choke. And they've still got a lot of the Uber remaining, picking off 2 more frags. Raph in the backlines picking off Elikor. But
he actually gets credit well before he dies. That could be a significant difference in how this goes.
In on the med, OMNI5, nice little surf there. But Gotti not finding the frag. As yeah, that was an interesting one, but it really worked out for them though. They opted to stay close to the choke with 3 players, like only 3 players up, and just use the Uber straight into Raptor and really caught him off guard. Yeah,
that's just another of those cases where OMNI5 is just lacking that bit of awareness that Ascent have, and just pays off so much. He comes the first jump in by Josh, but the Pyro class makes a quick job of that. And Scruff behind 9, but didn't even see how he got there.
One shot onto OMNI5! OMNI5 is sitting on 60 health. and somehow survives thanks to the quick support of Chris. But OMNI5 sitting on just a tiny little 10-15%.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like this was much more before it is slowed down. And somehow it got down to 10% advantage only.
Yeah, I don't quite. I think they're still going to think it's full out as well. And OMNI5 losing 2 players. And OMNI5 coming up on a Zuba. I think they're just probably going to go with the Zuba. As we see the offensive pyro. Well. Yeah, I've seen everything now. Raptor does actually get forced off down to 39 health. Chris and Fun's falling in the process.
But the rest of the Ascent is really far back. Rotating lower,
they're under. I can hear it. OMNI5's like, let's go, Pyruba. Let's make it work. And it's not really doing anything. They run straight into this heavy, and it's Josh. And like, oh, Raph in behind. OMNI5, nice little surf, it does fall. And this heavy on the point, sat on its nice little 450 health. It's not going to be allowing Ascent anywhere near the point.
Pyro was nice and all, but if you pop in without the Pyro being in range of anything, then it's not as dangerous.
Definitely, like, it's such a wide open blast.
Yeah, you take the fight, wins against Scruff on field, walks over Gotti on his way out as well. Eventually gets chased on the street, but there's still fun with the fight, and he wins that one on one.
How does he win that?
These scouts are insane.
Yeah, but Raptor sitting on 75%, and Josh actually on Sniper.
And out of position, taking down so early.
They're just having fun with this one now, I think.
You would imagine.
We are hitting the timers, demos, pulling out the taunt onto Funds, and yeah, I think this is kind of what we expected from the game. What did I say? I think I said 5-1. Is that what the prediction was? Can't quite remember. But, probably something along those lines. But yeah, Raptor was a full Uber advantage. Going to be trying to get some consolation rounds here. Fun's actually in behind. They do use through the choke. Are they going to be finding anything with this? OMNI5 could actually be caught in, taking the. He's actually duking around. He actually lives somehow. Scruff with a little bit of beef in his hands. But we see the Funz is deep in behind, and Creddy is on spy somewhere.
Actually, he's right behind them straight onto Raptor, but Raptor dodges him unintentionally.
Raptor's healing him! Raptor's healing him! Oh my god, Creddy! That was unreal. He's actually going to pistol him down as well. Oh my god, Raptor living on 15 health. Creddy.
That's the arrow though. I'm surprised Raptor didn't get an assist for that, to be honest.
Yeah, Raptor getting an assist on his own teammate. That was unreal. Master of disguise, he says in chat. But somehow, all of Ascent seem to die on the sidelines here. Just the fun sniper and Elikor remaining. Nice little pipes from Elikor, but Raptor
yeah, with 2 minutes left, OMNI5 really can't just play to make the scoreline here and look more respectable as they come in, but the Pyro destroys
the Pyro class, ladies and gents. That's OMNI5, 1 versus 1 with Scruff. And Demos does arrive to help him out. But yeah,
I believe there's a lightning fast round for OMNI5 possible, so my prediction comes true.
Did you say 5-3? I swear you said 6-3.
I said 5-3, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. If you say so. But Dom, let's talk about that game. I think this is what we expected.
Yeah, Ascent just needed a long time to get properly set up on this map, and once they did, it just was quick round after quick round.
Josh is on medic and OMNI5 is on spy. I'm gonna give OMNI5 some camera time for myself. As he's just chilling in on mid.
I think they spotted him already. But Chris on sniper takes down Raptor. That's gonna be a good look on the logs. OMNI5. He misses the stab! OMNI5, what is that? And they'll get banned by demos. But yeah, I think we expected that from this game, After how the first map went suddenly.
Yeah.
And Ascent just confirming, yeah, the week 7 match was a fluke from them. We are still much better. We just blow on patterns apparently.
The #1 seed. Yes, but yeah. So Ascent have taken this into maps, which pushed them through to the grand final.
Upper final. Against the winner of the other game today, which is probably still going. I want to hope
7
versus the Germans. There's a chance, a small one, nonetheless. Arguably bigger than in this game, I would say, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, 7 certainly going into that as the expected winner, but regardless of who wins, Ascent will play the winner of that in the upper final.
So they go into the upper final, and OMNI5 will face the loser of the other match?
Yes.
In like a lower bracket final, I assume.
Yes, that's how it works.
The loser of which will, of course, place 4th, and the winner will go forward into the... against the loser of the next upper bracket final, I guess?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm with you. But, yeah, what a game, Dom. I'm not gonna lie. It's not one of those stalemates that I'm used to, you know. As we can, I've actually checked out, and it was a swift 5-0-5-0 for 7 versus the Germans.
That is interesting because they struggled before against them a little bit, so they certainly improved, which they need to, seeing as it's a pretty new roster now.
Yeah, for sure.
Where Ascent just like needs to get better at being consistent at what they do, because like we saw in week 7 against this very same team, they struggled much more.
Yeah.
Whereas this was a pretty quick and simple job for the most part, and I mean half of these rounds at the end came from that time.
Shall we take a quick look at the logs before we get some interviews in? You can see Ombrak is ready and waiting in the sideline.
He's just ready to BM probably.
He's so keen.
But don't worry, we can BM him with his spy play that failed.
Yeah, that's spy play.
Oh, nice, the fun seal stat.
Wow,
that's my favorite. It's not even showing properly on my end.
Yeah, that's a little bit broken on my end too. But yeah, I think there's not too much we can really take from these logs, you know. It was pretty much an Ascent dominance on the second map. Scruff and Sweet actually coming out on top of the soldiers.
Yes,
the Ascent.
although it's a little bit deceiving because we saw Scruff playing so much sniper, but just it didn't work at all, unfortunately for him.
Yes.
And it could have helped so much if he hit just half the shots that he took there. It would have been such a different story at the beginning.
But Fun's having an absolutely monster game, taking a nice little plus recoil difference over both of the scouts on the enemy team. But yeah. Let's have a look here. We are joined by Ombrak, captain and medic of Team Ascent.
And Spy.
And Spy, of course.
Yeah,
what a legendary
Spy.
life.
Unfortunate Spy.
How you doing, Ombrak, my man?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Yeah, feeling pretty happy with that.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it went how we expected it to go.
As expected. Do you expect it maybe to be a little bit faster? You know, I feel like OMNI5 put up quite a fight there.
No, really. I mean, it's no trying. We were just like fooling around at the end.
Yeah, the end.
I don't know. I feel like if you were mumble, the mood was pretty light. I don't think people. I don't know. We just took it as seriously, but not really, not too seriously as well. So it was like a nice balance. So.
Yeah, how different must that have been to the week 7 game against OMNI5 that went quite differently?
Yeah, well, week 7 wasn't a map we really blew at, which is ProLands. Like the map picks, how it went was exactly how I expected it to go. I knew exactly what map they would pick and what map we would pick, so nothing of a surprise here. And when you these are ProLands, we would be able to smash them on every map, not smash them, but you know we are more confident on every other maps rather than Badlands. So it went how we hoped it would.
You had the read.
We're also getting joined by Raptor from the losing team OMNI5.
Rappy.
Yo, what's up?
How you doing, my man? Did that game go as you expected? What were your thoughts?
Well, we didn't really expect a big chance that we would come out with a win, but overall I think we could have put on a better show than we did in this game.
You know, I don't think you did too bad. It was one of these very action-packed games. It was a good spectacle to watch for sure. I was saying to Dum, it was like maybe not until halfway through Sunshine that we saw our first stalemate, really. But yeah, no, it's definitely very enjoyable. We saw some questionable moments with you, Raptor. I'm sure you remember it in Sunshine when Josh just comes in through the low area, nice one rocket onto you, and then just whacks you down with a stick.
Well, I don't know. Is that a questionable moment for me? I can't really do something against it.
I mean, your team in general.
Yeah.
But, I remember, you're certainly in a position to blame others.
I remember Josh just writing in chat, "Lol, what the fuck are your scouts doing?"
Yeah, I saw that, and you gotta wonder what happened there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We wanted to push out through bottom left, and I don't know what happened. I guess it was chaotic, and so we were split, and Josh got into my face in the right moment.
Yeah, but yeah, what a game, definitely. So this does mean Ascent will be going through to the upper bracket round 2, I think. Omrak, did you see that 7 won the other game? Which means
yeah, they won a pretty
5-0-5-0.
Yeah, in 10 minutes on the first map, I think. So
10 minutes. Ouch.
Kind of, yeah. We're in for a rough one.
Fantastic. So, what were your expectations going into the next game? Do you think you have a better chance of going up against 7 than obviously as it went in the season? Feeling more confident?
I don't know. It's gonna depend a lot on the map. I think what maps we'll play on. But right now, I still think they have the edge over us. I still think they're the better team. I think it's really close. And on 2 maps, maybe 3, you never know. Upsets can happen. So.
Of course, yeah.
But winning the next game would be cool, comfy for us. But it's not the end of the world if we lose it. As long as we meet them back in the grand finals, this is where it's all gonna go down. So
where it's all gonna go down.
Yeah, and on the other hand, we have Raptor, who will play the loser of that game, the German team. How are you feeling going into that, coming whenever it will happen? And what do you feel like are your chances to upset, potentially them and take 3rd from them? At the very least?
I think our chances are looking pretty good. We warmed up against them tonight, and we beat them on both maps we played. So I think our chances are for sure higher than they were in this game.
Okay, so not so much confidence coming out of Omrak, a lot of confidence coming out of Raptor. So should be interesting the next round of the playoffs.
Obviously, they're still a really good team, and we should be preparing. But I didn't mean it in a bad way. It was just that I feel more confident in the next game than I did in this one.
Omrak, talk to me, my man.
Yeah.
On Gullywash, we saw some interesting strats. The Josh sniper, is this something you've played with, or was it just because of the everyone was fooling around, having a good time?
It does that sometimes. I don't know what triggers it, but it happens.
Do you tell him to go sniper? Or
No. I wouldn't. I wouldn't dare commending the major.
It feels like this getting asked every interview. What's happening with the Josh sniper?
Yeah, it happened last time I've been asked, but I don't know. It just does it. I don't know if did he hit any shot on this one. I don't know.
I think he hit one on mid.
Okay, well he's allowed to try next time then.
That's how it works, is it? I see. Fantastic. Dom, you got anything else you want to ask?
Well, with LAN coming up, maybe before the next round of players, I'm not sure.
Yeah, surely.
And both of you guys going as medics for 2 respective teams, or Electro and Essential Other. How are you guys feeling going into that LAN? Whoever wants
do you want to start, Ombrek, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I really like the team I'm going with. A part of them is from Aura Electro, and I always respected the team because they really like to play aggressive and know what they're doing. So I'm really hyped, and obviously then I'm playing with Scruff from my team currently, so I'm already used to that scout. So yeah, I'm happy, but I feel a little bit unprepared because most of the time we only scrimmed with OMNI5.EU and less with the LAN team yet. So I think how confident I am will show in the next few days before LAN.
Yeah, it's only a week away. Omrak, tell me about your team. How's it going? Do you scrim much with them?
We did 2 maps only, so it's really hard to read anything from it. I don't know, LAN seems really good from the rosters I've seen. It just seems kind of stacked. It's really hard to tell who's going to take it. I think we need to get a bit more ready than what we are right now. I don't know, I'm playing with good players, hopefully, who can get the heads into the game quickly. So it should be fine. We're going there to take it, but it should be a full land. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm really pretty hyped for it. I still need to place to sleep, by the way. If anyone has a bet for me, I take it.
Who is actually main calling on that team? Because obviously you're playing with Cadus.
We haven't played with. We played once, but I wasn't with Cadus, so we don't know really how the dynamics will go when I'll play with Cadus. I'm expecting him to take the lead, and
you're just gonna bend over and
like
just accept it. Yeah, okay.
No, like share the calls as a good numlock knocks style.
Of course. Maybe you learn something that we can use against them. Who knows?
Who knows? I'm keeping that.
You get some inside knowledge from the 3-7 players on the team.
You would be impressed about how much I know about them.
Fighting sword from Umbrak.
The only thing I have left to say is, Umbrak, what are the chances that my shitty Photoshop from the TFTV thread will make it as your official picture for the LAN?
I don't know, maybe bribe the good people and it will happen? Maybe, who knows, maybe as a surprise, who knows. I'm not responsible. I think Talash came up with the idea, so he's probably the one you wanna try to fill in, you know?
I'll remind you at the event.
Ooh, okay, we'll do that.
Okay,
it can be the official logo, but you have to bring T-shirts for all of the members.
I'm still sad that our Electro's name won't be Omni Electro with the mix that you guys have.
Good idea, but too late, maybe.
Make it happen.
Dude, I have the inside sources. I can convince the admins to change the name on screen. Probably not, but who knows. Anyway, if you don't have anything left to say, Connor, then we can just go to shoutouts.
Oh, good. Should we wrap this up?
Okay, starting with you, Umberg.
Shout out to Font, who told me how to not get any damage from Sui, and it worked when he was Uber and didn't hit me once.
Oh, yeah, that was
that was pretty cool. Shout out to my team overall. Shout out to you guys for casting. Shout out to OMNI5 for the decent game. Who's coughing behind me? Whoa. And shout out to everyone involved in TFTV. And, shout out to Kratos Dogs and shout out to Babs.
Safe. Probably.
Shout out to my team. Shout out to Arctic Foxes. Shout out to Aura Electro. Shout out obviously to OMNI5.EU for sponsoring us. I hope we can make them proud next game. And shout out to Jesse.
Safe. Dom, you got anything you want to say, man? Any people?
Just shout out to everybody who will show up at LAN, really. And see you there, I guess.
Nice. Well, with that said, I think we'll wrap this up. Quick shout out to you, Dom, for casting me tonight. Everyone involved at TFTV and None Your Circle Jerk. And yeah, cheerio.